Hi, 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 hi. Hello, hi, 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 hi. Hi, everybody, and welcome to 12 Days of Creativity Masterclass number something. I can't even count anymore, but there is 12 sessions, and in this 12 Days of Creativity, I'm asking you to make a track or explore sounds or whatever you want to do in 12 days. That's the whole idea. I was asking earlier here in the chat, how is everybody's challenge going? And Chunk, aka Steve from my Patreon, says, I've done my homework for week 1. Yes! Well, that is a good start. That is a good start. Now, at this point, we are now over halfway of this challenge, and I really hope that now I'm not even hoping anymore. I'm now saying that now is time to start this challenge. If you've not started it for yourself yet, you need to start it now. Because what I noticed is that as soon as I just tell you guys like, the challenge is you can do it in your own pace and you can join this challenge at any time, you guys take it literally. You're taking your time, because the person who shares the most about their project and the process of this challenge will also win something. But can I just say, not being many people been sharing. In the beginning, it was the first couple of weeks, there was a lot of sharing, and now there has not been much. So we're going to be talking about productivity today, and it's very much in the mood for this whole thing is that, yeah, it shouldn't be me telling you what to do and when. It should be you finding techniques to do challenges like this for yourself, even when the challenge of me doing this is not on. So we have a couple more bi-weekly classes, master classes to do. Oh, we're gonna be talking about this today. I bet everybody has 10 minutes. Okay, I can't say everybody because everybody has different circumstances and everything, but I'm just saying that it depends what your goals are, but I want to challenge you to think if you have actually time. Okay, but yeah, obviously everybody has different time. I can't say that everybody has time because people have different life situations, but I want to challenge you to think if you do have time. We're going to be talking about that today. So we have a couple more sessions. So we have these ones today. So we're going to talk about productivity today and time management and everything today. And then we have 6:30 p.m. UK time. We have a session where I will be making a track in 1 hour using these different techniques and demonstrating that you can make something even in an hour. And remember, this whole thing is not about you making something you like. This is you finding techniques, understand yourself better, find techniques that work for you. That's the point of this challenge, so that it becomes something that you can keep on doing in the future. So remember to sign up below to get extra tips, get updates and giveaway details, because there will be a giveaway in the end, but you need to submit something for it. Also remember that there will be online course if you want a workflow that is detailed, if you need the guidance, if you need structure. That is what this course is, and it's so carefully planned. It's super detailed and gives you everything you need to know about production to finish a track. So remember to go and check that out from the link down below. With the code 12DOC, so 12 Days of Creativity 2024. With this code, you're going to get minus 25% off, which is quite a lot. And also remember that you can join my Patreon community for £1 a month for more accountability. We're going to talk about accountability today, so you can finish more tracks. So this far, we've had 4 tasks. So if you not watched the previous sessions, go back to the previous sessions and make sure to follow these steps so that you can actually get this challenge done. And I really, really believe in this stuff, and I believe it because I've gone through it and it's helped me. So that's why I'm doing this, because I know this is not like me just doing these sessions, just like this takes so much effort to do these kind of masterclasses. And honestly, it's not just to kind of, I don't even get like a lot of views and likes. Like I would get more if I would keep on doing Ableton Live content. But I believe in this stuff so much that I want to keep on doing this, even though it's kind of like taxing from my YouTube channel, but I don't care because I believe in it. So I just hope that you're going to go through that stuff, all the sessions that has been happening in this before. I've written a book about the topics and that book comes out next year. And if you know somebody who needs help with their creativity, then remember to share the playlist to these videos to whoever you think needs to hear that. So remember that these are the stuff. So we already talked about what kind of music you want to do. So defining your goal, step-by-step workflows, my absolute passion. I think they are the key for getting more music done. Adjust the workflow to include smaller steps. So we are making the workflows even smaller steps. And then in the 12 days of creativity, consider creating specific times to try out divergent and convergent thinking. We talked a lot about them last time. So if you don't know what yet divergent and convergent thinking are, it's a very important lesson. So go and watch that so you understand what they are, because we will continue talking about them today. And so that you can separate your creative time, your learning time, and also your analytic time, all the different times. So first giveaway, the main prize is Baby Audio Gift Bundle. So it's a plugin bundle, one of my online courses, and also a piece of my merch. I'm actually wearing my own merch today. I don't know if you can see it. It's that shirt there. Whee! And it's the most comfortable shirt ever. I actually use it so much because it's so comfortable. It's super, super soft. Also, there's a second giveaway. The person who shares most about their presence on social media can also win one of my courses, which is up to worth £160. Yeah, what a cool t-shirt. Thank you. It has plans and synths in it. Yeah, and remember to tag me to any post you do with LNA Does Audio stuff. When is the deadline to submit the track for the challenge? So the deadline is in December. So we have a listening party 9th of December. All instructions are on the website when you register. And then we will give you if you need to sign up there to get all the instructions. So remember to sign up to the email list, to the challenge from my website to be able to enter this. And remember, the point is not to make a good track. I don't care what you sent me, but the point is that you need to write me a little letter that tells me how you challenged yourself this autumn. How did you respond to anything that I was saying? And it needs to come across authentic and truly from your heart. I'm not caring what techniques you used or what compressor you used. I don't care about that. I care about how you looked into yourself and you analyzed how you work and you did something to improve your creative confidence and your creative workflows. That's what I'm interested in this. So remember that. So this is not a normal giveaway because I don't judge tracks by good or bad track and so on. Also, this is sponsored by DistroKid. So thank you so much for DistroKid for sponsoring this event. Without DistroKid's help, I could not have done it. I just want to quickly show you a little feature from DistroKid that I use, because you can see all these tracks that I've been publishing this year, because I make a track this year, one track a month. I have 4 more to come, and actually they're all in mixing right now, and I heard some of the mixes today, and I'm very, very excited. The mixes, the EP, so the first final songs come out in a couple weeks. I'm publishing all of it with DistroKid, so go and have a listen, my music that I made this year, and yeah, let me know what you think. It's chill melodic house type of stuff. So I want to show you this feature that I really like. So we can go here and there's different kind of stuff here. So enhance your music, protect your music. But one is here, special access. So we have Spotify for artists, TikTok artist account, Apple Music for artists, all these different ways to connect. And one of them is YouTube official artist channel. So what it does is that if you have a DistroKid account, then you can go here and you can connect your YouTube channel with DistroKid. So example, here's my main YouTube channel, LNA Does Audio Stuff. I do have another YouTube channel as well called LNA Does Music, where I have my latest chill morning house hybrid DJ mix example, where I played violin with my music and stuff when I did my first DJ gig. And this is obviously all my tutorials, but if you scroll down here, you can see it says releases. So if you connect your channel with DistroKid, all the music that you create goes automatically to your YouTube channel and also to YouTube Music. So that's a really, really cool feature. You can see all my releases here. And that means that people can add them to playlists. Also, it can be discovered quite well. So if I go here, it just shows the cover. But you can see that people been already kind of, even though I'm not advertised it at all, there's already 89 views and people even commented. Oh, that's a nice little comment there. So that is really cool thing about DistroKid. So please go and have a... Well, there we go. I had no idea about that DistroKid thing. Well, there we go. Now you can go and do that. And thank you again, DistroKid, for sponsoring this event, because again, without sponsors like that and me talking about them a little bit in these, I could not deliver this stuff for you. So I'm very glad. So thank you so much, DistroKid. We love ya. Okay, now let's go into the session. And just to say this time, Sophie is not here today. So if you have any questions, I'm going to try to keep my eye on the chat. I might get distracted a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. We're just going to take it chill today. And I'm going to try to answer any of the questions you have. So let's get going. Creative time management and productivity. So it's almost like creativity time management maybe is the correct way, but I'm dyslexic and I'm not native English, so I don't know if that's correct, but that's what we're doing today. So why we procrastinate? Why do we procrastinate? Why do we do that? Some of the main reasons are, example, poor time management. It's basically learned behavior. We can learn. It's a thing that we can learn. We can learn to manage our time better. We can also, like when we're growing up, what kind of model of like parenting we have seen, or schools, or, you know, siblings or parents or whatever, like how we seen time management that is managing everybody's health and work and everything really well. What are the kind of examples that are set for ourselves? Personally, I've seen people that are very hardworking and maybe work too much and it's not healthy. And I've definitely learned maybe quite toxic behaviors through that. So I kind of like, I have needed to really realize my own, how it's all affected my own way of working or being productive, is that I kind of push myself too much when I should also realize where does the levels of healthy and non-healthy kind of go. But you might have a different kind of example being set to you. There's fear of failure, massive amount. Wait, do we even start doing things? Because what if we fail? Because we have, as much as I keep on saying, example in my Patreon, there is no failure in creativity. You cannot fail. There's no test. There's no right and wrong in creativity. You cannot fail. But the amount of time that I feel like I keep on saying that, but keep on getting questions of, like we had a conversation in Patreon recently about unison chord package or samples. And there's still this idea that there's something embarrassing about certain aspects, like using chord packages, using assistive tools, using AI, using splice samples. I understand if you don't want to use them. I get it. But why do you feel it's embarrassing? So even that notion that you feel that it's embarrassing, that already tells me that there's a fear of failure, that you believe that there's a right and wrong, that there's a in the music industry, you're not supposed to. But who's saying that? If it exists there, you are allowed to use it. You are absolutely allowed to use it. There is no failure in creativity. You cannot fail. Lack of clarity is one massive thing why we procrastinate. Is it procrastinate or procrastinate? Procrastinate, probably. Probably the T is there. Lack of clarity. So when we talk about workflows or anything, I feel like this is one of the main things. We often don't have realistic goals. We want to create a hit song and we want to create it in a 1 hour with the tools that we don't necessarily fully know. We might not even know the full theory that goes behind making a hit song, but we still have the expectation that this song needs to be a hit. So we need to have a clarity of what are we actually wanting to do here? What is the actual goal, and how's your resources, your skills, your time, your equipment, everything that you have, how is that all supporting whatever you are dreaming to do? So clarity on your intentions is one of the biggest reasons why you procrastinate. So yeah, lack of clarity of your goals is one of the reasons why you procrastinate. So there's also preference for immediate rewards over long-term goals. Some people want fast rewards instead of long-term goals, and they punish themselves because if you can't do it straight away, instantly, you feel like you're failing. If you can't get to the goal straight away, you feel that the reward is not giving you enough, and you then straight away you start kind of fearing your process because you don't see the long-term benefit. You just see the very short-term reward instead of, and that's where you start fearing it, and that's where you start to procrastinate. Task aversion. I needed to Google the word aversion, but it's a good word for that. But it just basically means that you're disliking the task. And as much as you are creative and as much as you can romanticize the idea that you're going to sit in front of your computer, start as a music producer or any kind of creative, you sit down and you start doing it, there can be a certain dislike about the process. There could be a dislike on the feelings that you get when you start creating. So example, the fact that you start feeling like a failure, like you start feeling like you cannot do it, or you start to create anxiety or something. So you start avoiding the process of being creative because you don't feel that you can be comfortable with it anymore. Another one is perfectionism. That is often my issue. Personally, I am absolutely a perfectionist, but it comes from the need to kind of show constantly that I can do, and that I'm constantly like in this like cycle of trying to prove myself wrong about things that I felt like I was lacking when I was a kid. And I feel that that is very common, and that is often a reason why someone might procrastinate, is that they feel like everything needs to be perfect so you don't even start. And I must say that this must be one of the biggest reasons why people are not even starting their challenges yet, because they feel like it needs to be perfect. Or what if you give yourself half an hour a week to create, but you can't do anything? So you even feel like pressuring yourself to be perfect in those half an hour, the time that you've given yourself, instead of just that, like like whatever you create is okay. Whatever you press the buttons or whatever you do, it's gonna be okay. But you still feel like it needs to become something, needs to be best. Da, 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 da. So you still put yourself under those pressures. And that's still perfectionism. And that is one reason why you can procrastinate, because you feel like any time that you're giving yourself, you're never going to be able to do what you're expecting, like the quality or the level that you're expecting. Feeling overwhelmed. We've been talking about this a lot during these sessions. The space around us, all these things around us makes us feel that we feel very overwhelmed, whether that is the pressures, whether that is the pressure that we put ourselves, what the industry puts on ours, or the family or friends or equipment, computers, programs, everything feels overwhelming. And we start feeling the lack of clarity and perfectionism and fear of failure. We start fear everything, and then we don't create. And that's it. Anyone can relate? Does anyone relate? So, I'm trying to read your comments as well, same time. Yep. Barry is relating. Yes, we can relate. Perfectionism is a massive problem of mine with every creative thing I do. Makes things take forever. That is one thing, absolutely. And that's why today we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about how you can prevent yourself from those things. And it's amazing that you're realizing that for yourself, and you can relate, you can acknowledge that you're feeling that way. This challenge has been doing a lot for me in terms of reducing perfectionism. Yes! Yes! Well done. Manon says, oh yeah, I can relate. Amazing. No, it's amazing that I just love hearing that we all feel these things all the time, but there is techniques that you can do. So in result of all this, we might feel selfish or self-indulgent to take time to make music. And this is something I want to ask you. Do you ever feel like if you give yourself time to make music, you feel selfish, or that you're supposed to do something else instead? You're supposed to take care of your family. You're supposed to do work that earns money. You're supposed to clean. You're supposed to do things that is not. And then because of that, you feel that taking time for your art feels selfish and self-indulgent. Always feel like I'm doing something wrong when I shut the world off. And this is very, very common. And this is, I would say, one of the biggest things about why we don't give ourselves the time. And as much as I say that, I hear so much everybody like, yeah, like I just don't have the time to create. But in the end, there can be, I'm not saying that there is, because not everybody does, but there can be ways that you can find that time for yourself. But one thing is not to feel like, find first reasons. Why do you feel guilty, or why do you feel selfish, or so on? Oh, you don't feel that. That's really good. That's awesome. I was definitely terrible for a long time about this. It's the other way around for me. I feel like if I'm not working on music, I'm wasting time. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I think that's fair enough as well. So does this make you feel pressure then for your music? Does this make you feel like there's a pressure on your art or your music because you feel like you need to be doing it all the time? So that was for the commenting to the same one. And then I end up avoiding it for a while anyway because of various fears. That's a really good point. Very good point. So you start avoiding it because you'd be like, I feel, so you're feeling I'm not working on music, I'm wasting time. Yeah, that's really interesting. Because of work, family, relationship, so I feel guilty giving myself the time. Yeah, that's, I feel a lot. I felt like personally, for me, it was a lot about like, I needed to just earn money. That was my like surviving, paying my rent, all that things were so much more priority, especially in the beginning for me, that I feel like I felt guilty doing music because I felt like I needed to do something that earns me money at that time. You have just the writer's block that ruins me. Yeah. Have you watched the previous sessions? Because we've been talking a lot about writer's block and what causes it. Especially those sessions will help you with that. Personally, I feel like I'm the preference for immediate reward loop because achieving things faster makes me feel less guilty about taking time for making music. This is a really, really good point. So if you feel about long distance time, like you feel like you're doing something for your future, it feels like you're kind of wasting it instead of like doing something immediate and something that you can show, basically. That's really, really cool. No, not cool, but like good point. Cool point. Okay, so we need to continue here, but read all the comments. That's really interesting conversation that's happening there. So another thing is negative or self-critical thoughts that hinder motivation and confidence. And this is, again, something I'm interested to hear if you're relating. And I'm loving hearing these different perspectives that you are bringing into this, because obviously I look at some of these stuff from my own perspective, but there's so many different ways to approach these topics. And so that's why please share your experiences in the comments, in the chat and the comments of this video. So example, self-critical and self-limiting beliefs. These are what they are called. I'm not disciplined enough to be productive. That's a very common one. Believing that you lack control over the habits discourage effort. If I can't do it perfectly, then there's no point starting. This is what we talked about, perfectionism. The fear of imperfection leads to avoidance of task altogether. I'll never be able to finish this. It's too hard for me. This is so common. So common. And the panic that comes out of this. So you think that the task is beyond you. Yeah, and beyond your skills, your time, everything, and it overwhelms you, and you just kind of start delaying it because you feel maybe lack of self-confidence because you start feeling that maybe you lack in skill, maybe you start blaming yourself, and that's where you start kind of pushing it further because you don't want to feel those feelings because it's making you feel shit. But at the same time, you do want to finish it because you know that it would make you happy. But you're basically there like, because you feel like it's too hard. Or you maybe feel like you identified yourself as someone who feels like all this kind of stuff is too hard. But remember, identity is something that the world makes us believe about ourselves, but it's also something that we can change. And it also is something that we create to feel like we can fit into the world, but again, it's something that can change. I don't have enough time, so why to bother? This is so common, very, very common. Believing only full completion matters stops you from making any process. So you feel like even the 5 minutes of creative time in your week feels like it's not worth it because you can't do something that matters. So let's say that because I've been saying to many people, like, if you do half an hour a week of creativity. You can actually do a lot in that time if you keep on doing that half an hour for week after week after week. Half an hour is quite easy time to find, even if you're on your phone making music while you're sitting on a toilet or on a bus or, whatever. But I feel like often people kind of laugh at that, or they dismiss that point, or they say half an hour is not enough. But why is it not enough? Is it because, example, your equipment is too complex because it takes you time to open your computer, it takes already half an hour to open it? Or that you feel like your skills are not matching the amount of time that you feel like you need to create? So maybe that means that you need to have an easier way to create. Maybe something that you can sit by a piano or keyboards or synth or your phone, able to note, GarageBand, whatever you have, you can just open it up and start playing. And why do you feel like that's then not enough? Because at least it's something. At least it's you creating, at least you pushing yourself to be creative. But if your goal is always that you need to finish something good, you finish something that matches all the time your goals, you're never going to also do anything. You're not going to do the half an hour because you never think you have enough time. So why you bother? So maybe it's not the half an hour that is the problem. The problem is that you make it too complex. You make that half an hour way too complex. You overthink it. You use the equipment that is way too complex for half an hour. So maybe that's the issue and not the half an hour. Have you ever thought about that then? I'm just procrastinator. That's who I am. That's the last one. So it's the identity that you've taken on yourself. Identifying as a procrastinator makes you feel that change feels impossible. So this is what I said about identity before. Identity is a weird thing. It's not often on our control what identity we were given as a child. We do grow up in identities, whether that is society or community or family has given us, oh, you're the chatty one, or you're the funny one. And then you grow up thinking, oh, I need to be funny because everybody's always told me that I'm the funny one. That's what kind of stuff I'm meaning. Or the fact that you want to belong, so you start acting certain way, you start taking on an identity that you feels like is more accepted in the community you want to be part of. Until you start growing up and you start thinking like, oh no, there's that kind of thing. Oh, I'm kind of interested as that as well. But the thing is that many people believe that identity is something that cannot be changed. Oh, I'm just born this way. I don't have a techie brain. What does that even mean? Oh, I'm a procrastinator. Oh, I'm just someone who's a bit like, and I don't like cleaning and da, 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 da. But yeah, there can be like preferences or values, things that you care about in this world. So maybe you don't care about cleaning or clean house or whatever. But it doesn't mean that a perspective change could not change your identity on how you see yourself. That's the kind of my point is that I'm not saying that you need to become cleaner, but I'm saying that if there is a way that you wanted to, you can. Most likely. Obviously, there's different people and different reasons why people can change at a certain identity. So I can't generalize everything, but more generally, kind of generally, you can generalize it. So, what are the things that makes us more productive? Take care of your health first. This is so important. Be kind to yourself and your goals by keeping them realistic. Take your time. Who here feels that you're not being kind to yourself when it comes to creativity? Who can raise your hand and say, I don't feel like I'm kind to myself when I feel like I don't have enough time. I can't do the songs I want to do. I can't finish the tracks. I feel like I'm like the list goes on. Who here feels like you're not kind to yourself? Andrew? Anyone else? I feel that. I'm definitely not kind to myself most of the times. But the thing is that we need to learn. I have learned, absolutely. It's I feel like it is something that we need to start learning, and that is something we like. How can we expect everybody else to be kind to ourselves if we are not kind to ourselves first? Like, we put everybody else in higher standards. I definitely feel that this is something that I have needed to practice, to slow down. But what is helping with it is also understanding those goals. We talked about goals, defining what do you want? What kind of life do you want? What do you actually dream of, and why? And I feel like understanding that stuff helps you to be kinder to yourself, because you're not just walking in darkness. You have clarity of where you're walking, even if you are like, even if it changes. And I'm not saying like 5-day plan, 5-year plan, I need to be there in 5 years. I'm not saying that. I'm seeing values. So example, I never want to be super famous. I'm not doing this job because of that. I personally want to have passion in my life. I want to have days where I can just watch Marvel movies for the whole day. I want to have creativity. I want to have friends. I want to have days where I can just go for walks. I'm project person, so I want to have a projects all the time in my life, whether that is doing 12 days of creativity, or writing a book, or creating one track a month in a year. I need to have those projects, and understanding that that's what drives me, and that what makes me happy was amazing, because now I know that I can't plan my life for the next 5 years. I can't, because I'm a project person. I need to have the change, and I need to have cycles almost like in my life. And I also appreciate peace and quiet and freedom. Freedom is a massive thing for me, that I can travel and I can be free. And all these values allow me to realize what is it that I'm actually wanting from this life, which then allows me to realize how to like, what kind of goals are realistic for me, and what am I going towards. So I can also be kinder to myself when I can't do something, or when my body is saying no, my hormones are saying no, and I can be kinder to myself because I'm not in that darkness. I'm just have more clarity. Whew. Second, acknowledge harmful thoughts, patterns that do not serve you. So for example, there is a lot of people saying that you don't feel like you're kind to yourself. Those are the harmful thought patterns. Just acknowledging that for yourself. Like what we were saying, if you acknowledge these things, that you're saying these to yourself, that's a big start. Because when you acknowledge it, you can also take the power away from it. You can acknowledge it and be like, whoa. I'm not going to let that stop me though. I'm going to still continue, and I'm going to still do this even though. So example, that I don't have enough time. So why bother? So example, you can say, well, because I want to be more productive and because I want to do more music. So I'm going to give myself the half an hour, but I need to figure out how to make it work for me so that I can do the half an hour a week of music. So as long as you acknowledge that you all have a negative or self-critical thought, you acknowledge that, and then you can do something about it. 3, recognize that you are empowered to change. You are, and do something about your productivity. You're not a flop of meat that just floats around this world without no power over what you do. You do. Like, there's a lot of things I feel like this has been very much of a theme the last month and weeks and last week, where we feel like we're not in power of this world and everything that happens in this world. And it can make us feel powerless and like everything's just breaking away and it just feels hopeless. But the one thing you can control is what you do and what you say and what you do for yourself. So you can change those patterns that are not serving you anymore, and you can do something about it. But it needs to be you that does it, because nobody's gonna come and do that for you. So that's why, example, last couple years I've been doing 12 days of creativity as a video series where I was giving like, okay, these are the weeks you need to make this track, you need to do it this way, here's a step 1 and step 2, and people were like actually got really good results out of it. And this year I'm not saying that, I'm making that it needs to be you. And I noticed a lot less people are doing it. They are joining these sessions and all this, but actually the productivity of actually doing this stuff is lacking. So what's the difference? The difference is that last year's I've given you direct days, direct plan of action of what you need to do and when. But what I'm asking you now to recognize is that you can do that for yourself, but you just need to do it. Or if you do struggle, you can find accountability partner. I have, example, my Patreon community, which is absolutely full of amazing people. And example, there's a Terhi and also Steve, aka Chonk, in the chat who just created a track together, and they've been mixing it and now they're going to release it. And that kind of collaboration is amazing because you found accountability or someone to help you to hold you accountable on your plans and do that. But in the end, it still needs to be you who shows up. And I know it's hard sometimes, but that's where you need support, and that's where you need people to help you to show up when you don't have the energy to do that, and you don't have the power to do that. And that's okay as well. You don't need to feel guilty or feel shit that sometimes you're tired and you can't show up for yourself. That's why we have communities, and that's why we have friends and people and family. So let's talk about techniques on how we can actually make things work for us. What can we do to be more productive? So first technique is set focused goals with clear priorities. I've gone so much about this already, about clear priorities. But example, start each day by listing 2 to 3 main goals you want to accomplish. 2 to 3, that's not a lot. That's just a couple things. It could literally be like sit by your synth and start playing for half an hour. That could be the 2 to 3 goals. That could be the 3 goals. Sit by, turn it on, and start playing. Or it could be continue the project with adding a kick, hi-hat, and snare. It could be that. It could be small things, but you need to remember that, again, it needs to be a tangible, it needs to be also something realistic. What are realistic goals that you can do? Keeping it short prevents overwhelm and ensure that you're focusing on what matters most. Prioritize tasks that align with your long-term goals and let go less important tasks to avoid mental clutter. So I personally do this all the time. So how I do this is this. Let me show you. This is my way of doing this technique. I have here November, December 2024. And then I started this yesterday. So every week, about Monday, Sunday, I do this kind of list of everything I need to do that week. So everything, this is priority list. So everything that I need to prioritize that week. So I have example, the week before, where is it? That was the list from week before that, and so on. So basically, this week is really long. I have a lot to do, but not this week, but November to December stuff that I need to do, and I kind of check on it every single week, a month, depending how I feel about the list at that point. And that is how I prioritize for myself what I'm supposed to do. Things that earn me money, things that I do for enjoyment, things that I just want to do for fun. Like, there's just different things that I've decided that I want to do and I need to do, whether that is work, money, whether that is just because I want to do it. And there's other things that help us to then organize whatever is on your list. So you could be doing this in a different format. For me, it's always been a actual handwritten notebook thing. But also remember that workflows are amazing technique for this. So you might have lists, any kind of notes, any kind of plans. Workflows is part of that. So if you want to have more structure, just create yourself the workflow. I had a workflow session, one of the first ones that came with this whole series. So go and watch that, because it's I just love workflows so much. They help you so much. Second technique, time blocking for deep work. Break your day into focused time blocks dedicated to specific tasks. For example, you might spend 90 minutes on creative work in the morning, then take 15-20 minute break. This technique reduces task switching, which can drain focus and energy, while the break periods help you to recharge. So, this is a good tip here. I use Notion for task management. There are so many apps, programs, things that can help you. So use whatever is on your hand that works for you. But, start using them. And if they feel silly at the beginning, just get over it and start using them anyway. Whatever works for you. So time blocking is something that I personally use. So I have all the priority tasks on a notebook that I just kind of get my brain out. I'm like, what do I need to do? All the because otherwise, if I don't write them down, they're gonna be just in my head, just messing with me. So it's easier if you just write them down, and then after that, I'm gonna use time blocking. So example, this was one that I used a couple of months ago. I think that's a week in September. So I had Monday, I had new single stuff. So I had a new single coming out. So I needed to do promo for that and all this kind of stuff. And then I have social media content, reels in TikToks and stuff on Tuesday. I had Wednesday releasing new single stuff, live stream at 4. Thursday was free. Then I needed to do my tax return, was on Friday, live stream at 4. And then I had sound design stuff on the Saturday. So that was, and then Sunday free. So that was example, my time block. So I basically just look at everything that I have here. And then I'm thinking, okay, what day and what time do I do whatever task? And usually these ones I do like weekly basis or maybe couple weeks forward. But obviously if you have a full-time employment or something that your calendar a little bit further, then you can do them for the next month or the next couple of months, and you just follow that. And everything you want to do is in the calendar. So only thing you need to do is just follow whatever you have in there. And that's how simple it is. So you just do whatever you told yourself to do. And easy peasy. Done. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes you get sick. You just don't feel like doing things, and that's fine as well. Then I just kind of like change. I just put it into a different area, and I just kind of push it forward. And then I'm trying to remember to be kind to myself and remember that it's not that dangerous. Third technique, prioritize physical and mental breaks. Schedule short breaks throughout the day to stretch, go to walks, meditate. Regular movement and relaxation can boost your focus and creativity. This is scientifically true. So, especially during long work sessions, physical activity helps reduce stress and keep your mind sharp, making it easier to tackle tasks with fresh energy. So, example, I just got myself a new Apple Watch, and it just says once in a while it comes with the alarm that says stand up. And I'm like, okay, that just means that I need to go and get a cup of tea. Because I work from home as well, so I'm sitting all the time. So today I've taken many breaks, because I've realized that if I don't take breaks, I can't work and I get so mentally exhausted. So scheduling breaks is really important for your creativity, because as soon as you start going for a run, as soon as you start moving, you start being more creative, you start getting ideas. So if you get stuck, don't just sit there staring at your screen or your notebook or something and be like, I need to be creative. But instead, maybe put some music on and start dancing and start moving, or go somewhere else and go for a walk. Hello, we have 6 minutes left. Nice to see you here. Fourth technique. I think this is the final technique. Split your creativity time into sections. As mentioned before in the last session, separate your creative and analytical creative sessions, and then also learning into different times. So these are called creative thinking models. I did a whole different session about them 2 weeks ago. So go and learn about that more there. So basically you have example, Mondays, you have 1 hour brainstorming. So divergent thinking, which means that you're just pulling out ideas, you're not judging them, you're just being creative. Wednesdays, you have a session for convergent thinking, which means that you're taking these ideas that you've had and you start putting them into more analyzed, more sections. Example, you take samples that you created and start putting them into arrangement and so on. And then Fridays, you have 1 hour learning. But if you try to do all the same time, at the same moment, it can be getting very confusing if you're trying to learn a new plugin at the same time as you're trying to create a new idea. It can be very confusing. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you just get a flow and you start doing things. But if you get stuck, try to separate these ideas into separate sections. But again, these were explained more in detail in the last week's the session 2 weeks ago. So go and learn about creative thinking models that I did a session about. So we have now 5th task on here. Ask yourself if you have self-limiting habits towards your creativity. We had a whole thing about that. Apply at least one of these provided techniques to your time management skills. So please, at this point, now I am begging you to start making this challenge, because I feel like a lot of you you come to these sessions, all these, but you're still not 100% starting it. So now this is your call to action to create yourself that schedule, to take these time management things into your hands, into your brains, and actually start applying them. So if you didn't watch this whole session, please go back and watch all those techniques that I gave you and start actually putting them into your calendar. And don't say to yourself, oh, I just don't have time. No, just see if you have time. Just challenge yourself with the beliefs that you have currently and see if you can stop yourself from procrastinating, because the thing is, nobody's going to do that for you. You need to do it for yourself. Nobody's going to come and be like, with the magic wand and be like, you do not procrastinate anymore. You need to do it for yourself. So you are in charge. And then If you do that, then in the next sessions, we will be I will be giving you the giveaway details in the email. So you need to, again, remember to register for the giveaway down below. And you will get the instructions next time. And yeah. Okay, so let's see. Do you have any questions at this point? Amazing. Well done, Lydia. Actually, I'm surprised in turn of Evan. I'm also done with my track and I love it. Amazing. I'm so happy for you. Also in the learning time, it's hard to focus on the one thing you actually wanted to learn or to just quickly look up. Yeah, one leads to another. For every question answered, there are two new. Absolutely. And this point, you need to remember, what was the goal? The goal was to answer that one question. You can never learn everything about everything. So you need to remember that you went there for that one question and that one answer. So you stop that there. And then you think, okay, when I have the next learning session, then I will learn about the other stuff. I haven't started mine yet, been super busy at work and also dealing with creative problems in this session. I'm intent to start making it this way. Yes, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And just remember, start applying these and just take it easy. And also remember that there's no pressure, just be kind to yourself and just start playing. Just have fun with it. There's no pressure. Half an hour, again, I'm saying half an hour leads to a lot of things, and half an hour might not be what your original goal was, but it's something. It is something. If you just play for half an hour, it's already something. Have started a new job, so production has taken a back burner, but this has been a gentle reminder to start to figure out how to incorporate production with my new schedule. Yes, exactly. And congratulations of your new job. Very exciting. But that's the thing. You have things come up in life, all these new things. So you just need to take it easy and figure out how you can fit. Again, the half an hour, maybe going for coffee, lunch coffee, have a laptop and headphones and just on your lunch break, make a little beat. Play around. I don't know. Just figure out little ways you can be creative in your life. Okay. So, halfway through a new track, so we'll use that on. Exciting. But again, remember, the giveaway is not about the track. It's about your process. So I don't want to hear about your track. I want to hear about how you felt about making the track. I want to hear about your feelings and what you did for your creativity. I don't want to hear about compressors and stuff. I'm sorry, but that's a different type of production challenge. Just to finish this off, so we're going to be in half an hour. I'm going to demonstrate some of these stuff by making a track in hour. Probably less than an hour because we have an intro, an outro, and questions. So probably half an hour. I'm going to make a track. And just to show that there's no failure in creativity, you cannot fail. I'm totally winging it and we're going to have fun with it. So that's in half an hour explaining how I do that. So no compressors, but EQ settings. No, I don't want to hear about your EQs. I want to hear about your emotions. Okay, and also follow. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, go and follow me now at Elena Does Audio Stuff on Instagram, because I will be announcing a fun thing tomorrow. Basically, I'm doing to celebrate my last 4 tracks, the EP that I'm doing this year. In a couple of weeks, I am celebrating to do a DJ mix using only my new tracks and my followers' tracks. So anyone who's Patreon has a tips. They can be on the top of the queue to have their tracks played in my mix. But if you are a follower of mine, and especially you need to be following my artist channel, LNA Does Music, then you need to go and subscribe that channel, and then tomorrow you will get more info on how to submit a track for my DJ mix. So please go and follow me on Instagram, LNA Does Audio Stuff, to make sure that you can submit that track. Okay, so thank you so much for joining this session. In half an hour, we will come back and I will attempt to make something in an hour, or probably less than an hour, half an hour, and we're going to have fun and we're just going to go for it. I'm very tired today, as usually I feel like when I do this sesh. So we're just going to wing it. I'm hoping that brings you some inspiration. You need to sign up to the email list, to the event, which takes you to the email list from the link down below. So there's an event on my website, www.lnamusic.com. There's an event 12 days of creativity, and that will join you to the event email list, and you will be then get all the next 2 weeks you will be getting the giveaway submission information, how to submit. So all is, you need to register first before you get that. So go and register and you will be informed about it later. Cool. Okay, see you in half an hour, everybody. Bye. Thanks for coming. Bye.